Hey everyone, I am James Adams from Visual Media Church, and let's talk about LED walls. There's a lot of discussion online about LED walls. People are just starting to get into them. It's something that's been around for a while, but as the prices come down, more and more churches are able to afford these amazing LED walls, which just bring amazing visualization into your sanctuary, into your church building, and they can be a great resource. But when people are getting into them, oftentimes it leads to confusion around the media side of things, and that is something that we know a lot about. We specialize in media. So when you're talking about an LED wall, the biggest thing that people tend to forget about is you are changing the resolution. Often they're not 16:9, they are more of a widescreen, a double wide, or a triple wide format. So that is something to consider if you're moving from something that has been more projection onto a screen. Now you're running an LED wall. So it's something to consider when you're looking for media. Can I get pre-cropped images or video files that are going to look great and make my life a whole lot easier on the screen? And then second of all is resolution. I remember back when I was really young, I think it was probably early high school, is when everything switched from SD to HD in the television world, and then later on HD to 4K. And I remember people all of a sudden being shocked at the detail they could see on like news reporters or things like that. The things you could get away with before, now that it went to a whole new resolution, then got amped up again all the way to 4K, you couldn't get away with hiding details in the small little bit of blur. Everything was clear now, and things were extremely sharp. So your media needs to be high resolution. A lot of different providers out there still have older content, which was great 10 years ago, but if it was made in just 1080p and now you're gonna throw it up on your LED wall, you are gonna notice some pixelation, some aberrations, issues with the images because they are not meant to be displayed at such a high quality. So that is really something that you need to kind of keep in mind is, am I using older content? And that's where we at Visual Media Church have done our best to create future-proof content. So in early 2019, I think the summertime, we had pre-ordered the new Blackmagic camera 6K, and we began shooting all of our video in 6K. Now 6K is awesome. It means that for an LED wall, you get as much resolution as you're possibly gonna need on today's current LED walls. And so we shoot all of our content originally in 6K, and then all of our motion graphics we create in either 4K or 6K, depending on the elements we're using. But that means that we start from the highest possible quality, and then we compress it down for our users that use the 1080p. So you're starting with the highest quality, as opposed to, I've seen so many other people take their old 1080p content, just scale it up in After Effects or Resolve or Premiere Pro or Final Cut and turn it into 4K and then hope that no one notices. But if you have an LED wall, you will notice right away when someone's done that. So picking the right kind of media is really important. The other thing that we've tried to do our best at is create the most current, the most future thinking types and styles of content. There are still lots of people using kind of the same old stuff over and over and over again. So what we try to do is, one, we have a focus on how can we get the best cinematic nature content. So we were the first ones shooting nature content. We were the first ones shooting drone content. How can we make it as dynamic as possible, as beautiful as possible? And then on the backside for you guys that are running LED screens, how can we make it the tech and the image quality work as best as possible for you? So the other thing along the way that we learned is there's going to be different kinds of resolutions and different types of compressions that are going to start being used for some of these LED walls. So all of our content has always been an H.264 codec, which is a great codec, but now there's H.265, which is even better from a quality standpoint. The only issue being is that really you need to be running it either on an LED wall or something that's super high resolution, because you don't necessarily need all that quality. And then you need a computer that is more pro-friendly, something that can decompress the H.265 codec better so that you don't have any lag issues. So if you're throwing it up on an old iMac or a laptop, Before the M1 chips, you will probably have delay problems playing back H.265 files. But if you are running a new M chip computer or even some of the new laptops which do have the M chip in them, you won't have any issues running the H.265 files, and you are going to notice a big quality difference. And so for the past 2.5 years, we've been creating these files in preparation for the amount of churches that we know are going to be using LED. So when you go back into our library, you're going to see more than half of our library now has what's called VMC Pro files. So that is 6K, 4K, 4K double wide, and 4K triple wide files, which means you can just plug and play them into your LED system, and it doesn't cost you any more than what your membership already is, and you're able to use these files straight out of the box, as it were, right into your machine and have high quality media for only $200 a year. And so we've actually had our content used on some amazing LED walls. We have a user that used our content for some different award shows. It's been used at the Grand Ole Opry, and it's had amazing results. They look stunning, and we are super pumped that they used our content for these different shows and events, because it's a great example to show churches what they can do when they find the right media and use properly the equipment that they have with the content they have. And often that's where I see the biggest disconnect, is you can have a great LED wall and then not be putting up the right kind of content, whether it's resolution or type. And there just seems to be a mismatch. Like, why have this beautiful piece of equipment if you're not going to use it properly, right? So that is the biggest thing that I see. So when you're looking for LED content, make sure it's the right resolution. It's going to save you time and money. Make sure it is actually high quality enough and not just scaled up later, hoping that you won't notice a difference, which you will when you start playing with it on your LED wall. And then make sure the content is current and modern, making sure that you're not just using the same old kind of screensaver looking backgrounds, making sure that you're looking for something that's always changing, is always dynamic. And I know we are biased, but I think our content is amazing, and I think our users have shown that it really is amazing. VMC has grown so much over the past couple of years. We now have more than 2,000 full-time members using VMC, and we now have 25,000 free members taking our samples from the free library and using it at their church. And we are so excited to see that our content is in basically 27,000 different churches around the world. That number is incredible, and we want to keep pushing ourselves to make better content for you guys. So if you've got advice, if you've got ideas on what kind of content we can make for your LED wall to make your church stand out, to make your church look great, and to just save you guys time and money, because that's what we're here for. That's what the VMC membership is it's meant to save you time and money and look great at the same time. We want to hear it. So comment below, send us a message on the website, or send us an email. We are very approachable. We will answer you back, and we love getting comments and suggestions from you guys. So have a great day. Message us with any questions. Talk to you later. Bye.